There is a new development that should concern every American software company. Denmark, one of Europe's most tech-progressive countries, has officially placed digital independence at the center of its national strategy. The Danish Ministry of Digitalization is migrating entirely to LibreOffice, and here's the part that signals a permanent shift. Denmark's minister has publicly confirmed the government developed a contingency plan to revert to non-US systems if the US government acts unilaterally again. For the very first time, a Nordic country is treating Microsoft and Google not as partners, but as strategic exposures. And Denmark isn't alone. France just announced 2.5 million civil servants will stop using Microsoft Teams and Zoom by 2027, replacing them with a French-built platform called Visio. When tech-forward European governments start building exit strategies into every US software contract, something fundamental has broken in the transatlantic digital relationship. First, let's establish what Denmark is actually doing and why the contingency plan matters. Denmark's Minister for Digitalization announced back in June 2025 that over half the ministry's staff would switch from Microsoft Office to LibreOffice with full transition by autumn. The minister stated plainly, and I'm quoting here, "We must never make ourselves so dependent on so few that we can no longer act freely." That is essentially diplomatic language for American tech companies have too much control over Danish government infrastructure. But here's where it gets extra interesting. Denmark didn't just migrate software. They built a documented contingency plan that allows rapid reversion to Microsoft if the transition proves too complex. On the surface, that sounds like hedging, but what it actually signals is that Denmark is engineering the ability to leave, so they're not trapped anymore. The contingency isn't maybe we'll go back to Microsoft, it's more we've proven we can operate without you and we'll do it again if needed. So that's not really a software decision, it's more strategic decoupling. If you want to sharpen your ability to catch these structural shifts before they become headlines, check out my book, Awake the Practice of Critical Thinking in an Age of Self-Lies, available in ebook and audiobook. Subscribers get 10% off, and you can grab the first chapter for free in the description links below. Now, let's look at what's driving this across Europe, because Denmark is executing a playbook that is spreading. US cloud providers hold more than 80% of the European cloud market. For years, that dominance felt like convenience. Post-2024, it feels like vulnerability a little bit. The 2018 US Cloud Act allows American authorities to compel US companies to hand over data even if stored in Europe. That legal structure means Microsoft, Google, Amazon, any US tech company can be ordered to provide European government data to American intelligence agencies, regardless of where the servers physically sit or what encryption exists. European governments tolerated that arrangement when transatlantic relations felt stable. Then Trump returned to power, threatened Greenland with military action, imposed reciprocal tariffs, and sanctioned the International Criminal Court prosecutor after the court issued an arrest warrant for an Israeli official. Suddenly, the question, could Washington use our digital infrastructure as leverage? Stop sounding paranoid. France's minister put it very bluntly when announcing the Visio migration, I'm quoting, "We cannot risk having our scientific exchanges, our sensitive data, and our strategic innovations exposed to non-European actors." That is essentially a French government official publicly stating that American tech companies represent a national security threat. And France isn't hedging. By 2027, Teams, Zoom, WebEx, and GoToMeeting will be banned from French public administration. Visio runs on Outscale Sovereign Cloud, a subsidiary of Dassault Systems, with AI transcription from French startup Pianote. Entirely French infrastructure, French companies, French legal jurisdiction. The government estimates 1 million euros in annual savings per 100,000 users who leave Microsoft licenses. Check the video on how the EU launched a Microsoft alternative that's already rolling out across European markets. Denmark and France are part of that broader infrastructure pivot as well. Now the financial mechanics, because this goes beyond software licenses. When Denmark migrates to LibreOffice and France builds Visio, the immediate cost is migration complexity, sure, retraining staff, converting documents, rebuilding workflows. One tech analyst called it dismantling 2 decades of infrastructure, and that would be accurate. Another noted that most European employees have never used non-US enterprise applications. The training burden alone represents months of reduced efficiency. But here's what changes the calculation. Once the migration cost is paid, it is permanent leverage. Denmark now has institutional knowledge of how to operate without Microsoft. France has 2.5 million civil servants trained on non-American platforms. Germany's Schleswig-Holstein migrated 30,000 government computers to Linux and LibreOffice and now possesses the engineering capacity to execute similar migrations across Germany. That knowledge is a strategic asset. Every future contract negotiation with Microsoft, Amazon, or Google now happens with European governments holding a credible exit option. We've done this before, we can do it again. That's not really a bluff, it's just documented operational history. And the lock-in that made Microsoft untouchable is slowly evaporating. What Microsoft actually controls inside large organizations isn't just Office or Teams, it's the identity spine. Authentication, conditional access policies, device management, security groups, SharePoint permissions, that integration creates significant dependency. Once governments prove they can rebuild that spine using open source alternatives, the dependency breaks. Watch the video on the US private credit crisis that could trigger the next recession. While Europe builds independent infrastructure, America faces mounting financial fragility. Now the consequences for US tech dominance, because this isn't just European governments, it's a signal to European companies. When national governments publicly declare American tech platforms a strategic vulnerability, corporate IT departments take notice. If the Danish government can operate on LibreOffice, why can Mask? If France built a video conferencing platform that handles 2.5 million users, why not Airbus? The political top cover to migrate away from US software has been established. The European Commission has faced formal scrutiny from its own data protection supervisor over Microsoft 365 use. That's the EU's internal watchdog, saying the Commission itself is violating data sovereignty principles by using American software. The institutional pressure to migrate is building. And the next wave is already forming. As AI becomes embedded in enterprise workflows, the dependency question shifts from who provides email to who controls how enterprise data is accessed and deployed for decision-making. Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, Amazon Q, all American platforms that will ingest European corporate data to train AI models under US legal jurisdiction. European governments watched what happened when they became dependent on American software for basic operations. They're not making that mistake twice with AI infrastructure. France is already using French AI startup Pianote for video transcription. Germany's Open Desk project integrates multiple open source collaboration tools as a sovereign workplace stack. The dependency that took 70 years to build is being systematically dismantled. Here's where all of this leads, in my opinion. By end 2027, Denmark will have completed its LibreOffice migration. France will have 2.5 million civil servants operating entirely on European platforms. Germany's Schleswig-Holstein will have finished migrating 30,000 government computers. Those are not pilot programs, they are operational proof that European governments can function without American software. Once that is established, the migration spreads. Other Nordic countries watch Denmark and replicate. French municipalities follow the national government. German states copy Schleswig-Holstein. By 2028, a significant portion of European public administration will operate on non-American infrastructure. American tech companies will respond with sovereign cloud offerings, data centers in Europe, European staff, EU legal compliance, but those offerings can't solve the fundamental problem. As long as the US Cloud Act exists, Microsoft contracts with European governments are subordinate to American legal authority. No amount of European infrastructure changes that. The only way to escape US jurisdiction is to use software developed by non-American companies running on non-American cloud infrastructure under non-American legal frameworks. Denmark, France, and Germany have all chosen that path. And the strategic implication extends beyond Europe as well. If advanced European democracies conclude that American tech platforms represent unacceptable dependencies, what signal does that send to governments in Asia, Latin America, and Africa? India already restricts Chinese apps for security reasons. Will they start restricting American software using the same logic? Denmark's contingency plan isn't just about LibreOffice, it is a template for how governments worldwide can engineer independence from American tech dominance. Once that template is proven and replicated, US software companies lose the structural leverage that made them irreplaceable. They become vendors that can be replaced, not infrastructure that must be tolerated. The digital Cold War isn't coming, it's already underway. Denmark just formalized the decoupling strategy and the rest of Europe is following. Watch the video on your screen right now about how Americans are twice as poor as Europeans, according to Oxford research. The dollar losing reserve status, European digital independence, central banks buying gold, BRICS pivoting to yuan, they are not isolated events. They reflect a world where American structural advantages are eroding simultaneously across financial, technological, and geopolitical domains. Denmark treating Microsoft as a strategic threat is one more signal that the post-Cold War arrangement, where America provided global digital infrastructure, is slowly ending. The replacement system is being built in real time and is designed to function without American control. Thank you all so much for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.